Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Away Day Show. Again, you're seeing us again twice a week. We're back on the couch again.
Hope you're not sick of me yet.
So. Yeah, don't get sick of me. Actually, saying that, thank you for the support on the Monday pod. Did quite well as time recording.
Yep, not too bad.
But boy, if you thought Monday was good, this is 10 times better. We're going to have the script before we started off, and we were very excited because
wasn't going to miss this one.
The league's football in general have lived up to it on the weekend.
Yep.
Controversy, teams underperforming, teams overperforming, massive moment. It's got a lot, and it's going to take an effort for us to keep this into an hour, 15, hour 20, I think.
Yeah,
but we'll try our best.
Yeah, we'll try.
We'll try our best. For you at home, we'll try
your
best. Let's get straight into it. I don't want to waffle this episode here. Straight into it. In the Serie A, a lot to talk about. Starting with Napoli, they've got the players' own curse because they've gone and put in two great performances back-to-back, beating Sassuolo relegation rival battler, but 6-1, and then go get a big win versus Juve as well. Maybe now back in contention for a Champions League, but it's a long way off. I think it's 8 points off.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
But what we've seen in the last two games is a whole different side, I feel like. Kvaratskhelia is in the goals. He got a double, then a massive goal versus Juve.
Yeah.
Osherman's hat-trick versus Sassuolo.
Yep.
It feels like they're going in the right direction again. It felt like a bit like Napoli of last season. What are your thoughts on all that and the way they're playing?
It feels like the fans are sort of back at it as well.
Yeah.
Like the crowd they got for the Juve game was massive, considering how bad their season's been and how much they've struggled. But yeah, the players' own curse lives on, I guess. You know,
a positive curse, by the way.
It's
about
a
positives.
Curse, but against Juve, I thought Juve were actually quite good that game. They could have scored probably a couple more goals, but the main thing for them is just to grind out results, and that's what they've been doing. Their performance against Sassuolo was very good.
Very nice.
You know, the goal that Sassuolo scored was
from
behind. It looks mad how it curved in, but again, going 1-0 down, you're sort of thinking it's sort of Napoli season. They'll maybe get a draw from this, but they just absolutely battered them and scored some good goals. And then the Juve game, it's a tough one. You know, Juve, again, they've had their struggles of late, but they're still second, still a tough team to beat and still a tough team to score against. And, their big players have stepped up. Kvaratskhelia has been unreal lately. Yeah. You know, Osman's starting to find his feet again. But Kvaratskhelia has been the main sort of instigator.
That finish was, I think that's you maybe put it in the keeper, but I think he's hit that so powerfully.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
If you're Szczesny, I don't think you know much about that. And even in that Sassuolo game as well, 2 goals, but very good goals that as well, and setting up. I feel like he's having more of the ball. I think I read something about he's had 62 touches on average in the last 2 to 3 games. And I think, let me get the manager's name right here. Calzona, who's come from the Serbian team and come across. I think he's just prioritised getting these guys the ball. They're playing with they play with 70% possession for most parts versus Juve. It's Osherman, it's Kvaratskhelia, even Raspadori then pre-performing. Obviously gets the goal as well, but improved performance from him as well. It feels like there's a bit of joy almost around the team now. It's like Roma, we'll touch on a bit later. It just feels like progressive attacking. The best players are performing at their best. And despite conceding a few chances to Juve, it still felt like that defence looked a bit better than it has been because we've touched on it a few times on this show here, that some of the defensive mistakes and defensive continuity hasn't quite been there.
Yeah, no.
But it feels like everything's going in the right direction. So obviously 7 points, I think it is, or something like that's off 4th is a long way away. But momentum, we talk about it a lot. It's such a big deal. And now they're sitting 7th, 2 back-to-back performances. They beat Barca in the Champions League, midweek next week. All of a sudden, everything looks good.
Yeah, it starts to go from just a season gone to now a bit of hope,
you can do something about it, right?
So, I think top 4's a very kind of... It's going to be very hard because considering how Bologna are playing, Roma, sort of the teams in the mix there, it's going to be hard. But just with this new manager, I feel like the 2 previous managers kind of tried to just focus more on the team, the every single player's performance, while this manager's let's get Kvaratskhelia and Osman back to just get them on the ball and get them playing. And it's been a good turnaround. They're playing some good football at the minute. So it's just going to be about, is this just a little bit of a purple patch, or is it something that they can carry on for the rest of the season?
That's the test.
So I think Barca, I think that's where we'll see going away.
That's the game, right?
With all the injuries that they've had recently.
A lot going on
there. If they lose that game, then you think...
season done.
Yeah.
We ruled him out last week, so we could come out next week and we could rule him back out again.
Yeah, we could.
I just feel that's the way they're going to be this year. But yeah, definitely positives. And as quick as in a Juve as well, just I touched on Vlahovic being the key to them. He can also be, the bit of a villain in the way as well, because he missed some big chances in that game. Just didn't look like himself. Obviously, came back from a short spell away for a little bit, I think, with a little niggle there. But yeah, it's just, if he'd scored those two early on in the game, could have had a hat-trick in the first half in many regards. If he'd scored those two early there, pressure's off Juve, and like all of a sudden now, there's only 1 point between them and AC.
Yeah, even Bologna
now
you never know.
Striking distance. It could get bad for Allegri if this all sort of falls apart here.
I mean, it already is kind of getting bad in a way. It's quite toxic there at the moment. And I mean, Vlahovic was unlucky with the one that hit the post where he chipped. That was just unlucky. I think the commentator generally thought it was in. He already started.
He said, "What a finish!
What a finish! Yeah, hit the post and went out." Yeah.
Like, oh, right,
but yeah, like we said, I think last week or probably every week that if he doesn't score, it's very hard for them. So, as good as they have been defensively, that's always been the concern is if the goals stop, like you can only defend so good for so long. Like goals, even if it's 2-3 games, you'll ship goals, and then with how good Inter have been, you'll drop off. So Allegri needs to just find something,
sort it out.
Just try and put a good, even if you draw the game, just put a good performance out there, something that the fans can kind of cling on to.
The fans aren't liking it because in the end it was about 35 to 65% possession game. Where
they had a lot of chances, but it's just like the style and
I think that we said it with on the Monday show about with Moyes and West Ham. Fans want style of football now as well. And it's, as we always said, it's all good when you win with Allegri, but when you start dropping points and drawing, then it also, everyone looks at the stats and says, only 10 shots, only 30% possession. And also it fell apart. And just considering the fact that Napoli almost reversed how they've played this season, they've had heaps of the ball, they had heaps of chances. I think it just compounds a bit of Juve's problems. Because AC are coming, I think. AC is probably one of the better forms.
I wouldn't count Bologna out as well.
Bologna
they've very impressive against Atalanta. So.
Perfect segue. They got a massive win. We were highlighting it a lot coming into it. I have a lot of second teams these days.
You predicted them to win.
I think I said
3-2 Atlanta. And
I say 2-1?
Maybe.
We are 2-1 merchants, so I wouldn't be surprised if I did say.
That could be a clip,
Yeah, get that on there. Ball knowledge on 101 there. But yeah.
I think you might have predicted a 2-1.
What a win. Yeah. And again, they play different every single game. Obviously, they still try and play possession-based football, but in this one here, it was absorb a lot of chances. Atalanta were a very good team this game. They took it to them. They rode their luck a little bit, but just timely goals and just important moments for goals as well.
Their two best players as well.
Yep.
So your man Ferguson
and Xerxes again.
So.
He's going to go for money, I think, now.
Yeah, he's got a call up to the Dutch team for the friendlies that are coming up or whatever. But yeah, first half, I thought Atlanta were the better side. Obviously the goal, and they had a couple of other chances. It probably just took Atlanta a half just to kind of just get into it. Yeah. And then, Motta, whatever he said at halftime, was probably the first 20 minutes they completely dominated. Obviously scored the 2 goals, and then Atlanta, in a way, kind of got their way a little bit back into it. They could have scored late on there, yeah, but I mean, they got some players there in Ferguson and Xerxes in particular that just they're playing unreal at the moment, and they won't get a lot of credit because it's not a title race, so it's not a team in any European tournament, but it's Motta's doing an unbelievable job there.
Going to have to learn these names very fast, I think, the people around world football, because this is another developing story. Obviously, Evan's just getting in control of Leverkusen, and people understand Girona, but now we've got the new kids in the block again in Bologna, and Bologna as well.
From nowhere.
It just sort of has all happened very fast. They've got now, they're moving to 4th, extend the unbeaten stretch to 7 games. I think before that had another sort of 5-game unbeaten stretch as well. So they're a hard team to beat. And again, they win in so many different ways. I think I highlighted a few weeks back, it is a more possession and play at the back. So that's what they go with first. But like we saw in this game, like we've seen in games past, they're fine to play without it as well and hit teams where it hurts in terms of winning the ball back high up the pitch and counter-pressing, counter-attacking. So they've got so many facets to their game, and we've touched on Motta and his incredible brain. He's played the game at a high level. It seems that they have that freedom and ability to go out there and play at their best. And like you said, they probably, the opening moments was a bit end-to-end, bit of ping-pong about it at the start. But once Atalanta got in control, you thought, gee, you want to concede another one here. That's really hard away from home at Atalanta. This team's a more experienced team. they rode the punches, came out second half, and like you said, they just came out there, went bang, bang, straight away. And a great penalty, great goal altogether, it was a great volley from Ferguson. Tell you what, smacked into the bottom corner. Like
class finish, very
it's
good.
It just felt like this team just believes. It's similar to Leverkusen, similar to maybe in Liverpool in many regards, where they just keep believing they'll just be able to get over the line.
And no matter what's ahead of them. It's just confidence, isn't it? It's just the manager trusting his players and them getting to trust each other. And I mean, for the players, they're looking at teams like a Leverkusen, a Girona, an Aston Villa, saying they're playing their style, we've got ours. It's a similar kind of style. It's very open, progressive, attacking, and they're backing themselves. And why shouldn't they? So, it's working for them. They've had some big wins away from home recently, Atlanta, Lazio. So, I mean, I hope they can keep going. But obviously they've got teams, in 5th, 6th that are catching up.
Yeah, exactly.
Not catching up, but staying with and playing at a high level.
Let's have a look at the next few fixtures. So Napoli play Torino, probably a winnable game there. Bologna hosts Inter this weekend. That's a real test.
That's huge.
Massive for them.
That's going to be... What time's that?
That is a Saturday... Oh, no, Sunday morning, 1 a.m. It's going to be a watch it back, I think, for me.
That's going to have to be a watch it back.
Fiorentina hosts Roma. Juventus have Atalanta. So a big week for Serie A football.
Big week. Big for the top 4,
Exactly. And then Bologna play Empoli the week following that. And then after that... Napoli play Inter that following week as well.
Inter got some big games.
Inter's a massive game. And then they play Bologna have an easier game, which is one of the bottom half. So, look, it's looking good for Bologna right now, but there's some big games to play, right?
Job's nowhere near done.
Not near done. And with Roma's form, we're going to touch on them literally the next segment. They're coming. Napoli, in many regards, are coming as well. Can never rule out Lazio and Fiorentina. I know they're a little bit away from it, but they're also teams to keep an eye out for. So, the battle for Champions League is
close.
Very, very heading up.
Good,
It's probably the best out of all the leagues, right? It's just...
probably, yeah.
Bundesliga is separated a little bit.
La Liga's... I mean, Bilbao might, but that's like one team. We're seeing Napoli,
We're seeing almost
Bologna,
like a 5-team race for it, isn't it?
Like, it's good.
Let me just double check.
And you can't even guarantee, like, AC Milan, because they're only a couple of points ahead of Bologna, I think. So
obviously Inter's won. Let's just cut that out of the equation. So they're 15... points clear now of Juventus. That is ridiculous.
Escalated quick, didn't it?
It went from like 6 points to 15 in no time. Then you got Milan a further point from Juventus. Bologna only 5 points off Milan, so maybe they could go the other way around. They can knock them off. Then you got Roma on 4 points behind Bologna on 47, Atalanta on 46, Napoli on 43, Fiorentina on 42, Lazio on 40. And then at the bottom it is interesting as well. Obviously, Salernitana. I can't pronounce that name. They're gone. Sassuolo at 20 points. Cagliari on 23. Verona on 23. Udinese around the place on 24 as well. So it's very congested bottom and instead of Champions League. So it's going to be very interesting how that works out.
We'll keep a very close eye on that.
It's going to be hard to keep an eye on Serie A. Might be a lot of Serie A talk for the next few weeks, as it feels like.
It's a good league at the moment.
Tell you what.
We're seeing good football.
It's the progression. We keep touching it. It's no longer just the best defensive league. It's also probably the best entertainment league at the moment as well. Both ends of the pitch.
Up there.
Speaking of entertainers, Roma, they are the great entertainers right now.
They are.
4-1 win over Monza, who we need to put respect on Monza's name here. They've been at a great season.
They've been a hard team to play against.
11th in the league for a second season in the league. Very impressive. Obviously, they got that famous result versus Milan not too long ago. We talked about that. But they don't make it easy on teams, but Roma made it look easy in this one here.
They gave away a couple of cheap goals. I think it was Lukaku's one. Was that the second, I think it was?
Yeah, basically just tapping.
Gifted it to him.
Yeah.
The free kick, you can do nothing. I mean, we spoke about Dybala last week. He's very underrated.
Yeah.
So, Roma, De Rossi's got a good philosophy going on there. Again, I don't know if it's how much he's changed. I think it's just kind of a freedom sort of thing. And obviously the players are enjoying it. We can see it by their results.
Yeah.
They got a tough Europa League game coming up. That's this week.
They got Brighton. Yeah, that's gonna be
away the first.
It's away the first leg. No, it's in Italy the first leg.
Yeah. So they'll back themselves to go and win that game, and especially how sort of inconsistent Brighton are.
Yes,
we don't know. So, fair play De Rossi. At the time, I wasn't
sure
convinced.
Yeah.
Because of, I mean, he's one of the greatest ever play for Roma.
Yeah.
But the fans adored Mourinho, right? They loved him, brought him that European trophy. But he's come in and he's just kind of took the reins off a bit of some of the defensive kind of...
Yeah.
Like, what's the word? Like...
Just
kind of, I don't know.
It's just more pragmatic, right?
Yeah.
Just a bit sit
Open
in.
them up a bit.
Yeah,
So.
express stuff. Lukaku scoring goals again. But I think this is the best we've seen Dybala since
early Juve.
Original Juve days.
With like Mandzukic and stuff.
When it was like that really strong Juve team. Like, this guy looks like a whole new player. And don't get me wrong, he was still good before this. We're not saying that Mourinho killed the player, but it sort of took away, I think, his best assets.
Yep.
That freedom, I think, you can apply to Dybala best. He ends up wide left to cross the ball into Lukaku for that tap in.
Yep.
In a Mourinho system, everything's very rigid and structured. Does he end up out there? Probably not. He just feels like right now he's all over the park, picking the ball up every spot all over the park. And he's making it count. That free kick, ridiculous. Hat-trick last time out. Great assist here again. The numbers are just going to be... I probably should have gotten them up. I didn't have them written down.
I think last time I checked, he had 11 goals and 6 assists or something.
That's up there in top in Europe. 17 goal contribution. That's probably
like
top 50 in Europe.
So he's having a very, kind of like a hidden gem kind of season in a way. So
Summarises Roma in general, though. They're a bit of a hidden gem right now. They could be... We have not said Roma's name in terms of that Europa League contenders.
They keep going the way they are. I wouldn't want to get them in the next round,
Especially if Leverkusen.
I'd love Leverkusen to get them.
Knock each other out. Go at it while you guys recover.
But I wouldn't want to get them.
It's like a very difficult team to come up against right now. Jeez, but they go 4 points away from Bologna, as I said, and obviously the round 16 for the Europa League. If you end up getting top 4, maybe Europa League final, that could be an incredible saving from De Rossi. I'm pretty sure they were 9th when he took over.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Yep. And just in no man's land.
I don't think they've lost under him. Or maybe once.
They lost once to Inter. Inter beat them up.
But everyone's beat. Everyone's
no one beats Inter these days.
No one gets close to Inter in Serie A.
It's just, it's ridiculous. There for your side, you need to keep an eye out for as well.
Yeah.
A lot of these Serie A teams have hitting the traps at the right time of the season, I'll tell you what.
They're kind of saving it a little bit in a way.
Absolutely.
So it's good.
Making the league the most watchable right now, I think so.
Yep.
Alrighty, here we go.
Oh, God.
The big segment of the week is holding defensive midfield, whatever you call it, CDMs for your FIFA players. It's hard because like you said off air, and like I'm going to say for the next 3 weeks for our 10s, 8s, our 6s, these days everyone's a hybrid, it feels like. So I've got players who I consider as holders.
Yeah.
From one person to the next, it's going to be different, I feel like. But these are my 10. These are your 10. Let's just say that. They're going to be a bit different this, we think.
I'll provide an example. I don't have someone like a McAllister in. Like that sort of player where majority of the season they have played 6, but I think they're better as an 8 and are an 8.
Right. So I've got McAllister.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this is where we're
it'll be stuff like that. But again, it's,
It's the fun of the game. That's what
he has played. There's something he has played DM and stuff like that.
Play along at home.
Exactly.
All right, kick us off with your number 10.
10, I've got Locatelli.
Good call.
Now, I know Juve have struggled recently. Like, their dip in form hasn't been good. A lot of their players are struggling. But I think, again, it's very recently. We can't forget, through most of this season, Juve have been close with Inter. And if it wasn't for Vlahovic, I think with Bremer and Locatelli have probably been their players of the season.
Yeah, definitely,
And he's, he's one of their best players. He's had some really crucial performances. I think we forget, he's come up with a couple of last-minute goals. I think they beat AC Milan 1-0 and he scored.
It was his goal.
So he has that in him, and I think, under an Allegri, maybe you could say he looks better than what he is because of how defensive they are.
Yeah.
But in saying that, the DM's probably the most important in that team because of he's the one that needs to get the ball moving forward and breaking up the play. So I think it would be an injustice to leave him out, I think, in terms of DMs.
Yeah, I was close to him in. I ended up going with my number 10. Again, I was tossed up between Camavinga, but he hasn't played much at DM this season.
Yep.
Locatelli, but I went with you guys in the end from PSG. Again, I don't watch much of the league on, but for Champions League and what I was reading about him before this season in terms of what he was doing at Sporting, this guy seems like he's going to be very important for this PSG team going forward. Again, a young, inexperienced team. He seems to have a control of the game, that midfield area. It feels like he owns that area. And I think all these sort of players that will come up, they just hold that, they control the game. They're not phased by anything that goes. I think that's what makes a good holding midfielder.
Yeah.
Ferocious little bug, I tell you what, getting the tackles as well.
Yep.
And very comfortable with the ball. I think that's the most important thing in this modern football now. Can these guys play with the ball at their feet? And this guy absolutely can. again, probably because I don't watch much of PSG and because hasn't been on the big stage much yet. That's why a bit lower down. But on his current form, in many regards, it could be a top 5, top 6 currently on terms of form.
I forgot about him.
But yeah, between Locatelli and him, between Camavinga, I was close to putting either of them all in.
I forgot about him.
It's a good it's a rogue shack, considering we don't much league on action over here in the channel. So there's my league on.
Oh, my next one could be rogue.
Fortnite. Oh yeah, that's another.
maybe. I've put number 9. I've got Endo.
You got him in. I was trying to get him in, but I couldn't in the end.
I just think, obviously, this is like 95% based on what he's done off Liverpool. But in the Bundesliga, he was a very well-respected defensive midfielder. He was like, he had like one of the best tackling percentages, 50-50 percentages, like progressive, like kind of passes, I think, stuff like that. And at Liverpool, he's been unreal. Again, started off maybe a bit slow, got a couple of Europa League games, and he was fine. But the Palace game was the one that stands out where he's like, is he good enough to be the 6 for this side? But ever since that game, we've played teams like Arsenal and Man United, the 0-0, and other big teams and hard teams. And you can make an argument he's been the best player in all those games. And what he allows people like McAllister and even in the cup final, like having McConnell and Clark in front of you, being knackered and just still going at it, is just, I think he's unbelievable at the moment. And I just had to put him in. I was thinking of other players to not put him in because I don't want to seem like I'm just a biased Liverpool fan.
I tell you what, on current form,
exactly,
it could be even higher on current form in any regard. So we always say on the channel as well, your best ability is your availability. He doesn't miss many games, so big call there. I'm gonna make an even bigger call. I feel like I've got Casemiro number 9 for me.
Ooh, okay.
So low down.
That's low. Fair enough.
This time last year I could have won. That's where I'm.
There's an argument for it. Yeah.
I think he was and he's still so important for the team. But you can see that pace has dropped off a little bit.
Yeah.
The teams are doing as well. He's now almost like just a yellow card guy. He can't catch up, so he's going to get a yellow card. I still reckon, though, very, very important in terms of supplying goals, one, because this team lacks goals a lot, and then obviously stopping it at the other end. He's definitely a world-class player. And if you're talking about all-over careers, probably number 1 by a long way in terms of the accolades and what he's done, how he's transformed Real Madrid and Manchester United. But with this season we're currently in, there's a lot of superstar holding players at the moment. I just don't think combination of the team just being awful, to be honest, and him not being available, bit of injuries, slow, not quite at it, not seeing the same amount of goals he was getting last season. That just sort of drops off for me. I'm a very reactive to the guy on his list. I feel what's going on and I adjust because of that. But don't get me wrong, this point last year after a Carabao Cup final win, he'd probably be number 1. But
he'd be
right now with the way it's all going, number 9 at the moment.
Yeah, there were definitely conversations about like maybe not better than Rodri, but very close.
It was close there this time last year,
Yeah. Number 8, I've got Robert Andrich from Leverkusen.
Oh, I missed him out. That's a great call.
Now, like they both play as centre mids. I don't, like one drops, one goes. Stop. Like it could be either of the two, but there are most of the time it is Andrich dropping in between the centre backs. And he's come up with some important goals this season.
Bangers as well.
And I just think Xhaka, that they play so well together. Like Xhaka, because of how he plays, he allows Andrich to roam around, even go forward a bit at times, but still do that role defensively. And Andrich allows Xhaka to just push forward a bit because he knows Andrich will be there. So again, it's another week, another Leverkusen player that just has to be in the list.
I should have put him in there as well. Fair call. All right, my list is looking very Premier League biased now. Number 8, I've got Bruno Guimaraes as my number 8. Again, he's another guy as well. Could he be a holder? Could he be an 8? I think in an ideal world for Newcastle, he ends up being like an 8/10 in a really, really solid team because he's just got everything. This guy, all-rounded player. Talk about ferocious attack. This guy loves a challenge. He loves to go in there, hit some bodies hard.
Doesn't mind a celebration.
Yeah, absolutely. Bit of a shit ass as well. And, when you're watching it, it's fun. When you're going against him, you hate him because he's just that sort of guy. Yeah. But he's so important for this Newcastle team. You talk about Tonali's absence and how they struggled. There's one guy that's held them together this year, and that's Bruno. Because Joe Linton's so important for them. He's been out. No Tonali. They've got young Lewis Miley in front of him most of the season. Sean Longstaff.
Bits and pieces player.
Yeah. Like this goes to show how well he's holding together this midfield. I think Newcastle, their problem this season hasn't been their midfield, and that goes to show a lot because the defence has been pretty much together now for most of the year. They lost Bowman for a little bit, but you've had the same sort of faces around there. The forwards have struggled at times, but it was never really struggled the midfield. And I think Bruno's done such a good job in holding that together. He's such an all-round. He covers every facet of the game. I feel like tackling, ball carrying ability, goals. He's got it all, this guy. Yeah. So he's my number 8.
Yeah, great shout. Again, he's not in mine, but he falls under that category of you can put him as a 6 or you can put him as an 8.
Yeah, where do you want him?
Yeah. Number 7, I've got Palhinha.
Yeah. No,
top tackling player in the Prem last season. Like, if you look at all the stats, he was up the top, which is why Bayern Munich, Liverpool, I'm sure United were in for him.
Everyone was in for him.
Obviously didn't get that move to Munich, but again, it wouldn't surprise me if he was gone to Munich or wherever. He's good on the ball. He's just so hard to get past as well. You have a look at some of the best 10s in the league, and you'd put your faith in him stopping them
all the time.
So he's
pretty
quality.
simple.
So
no nonsense.
He'll get a big move, and he'll get even better, I reckon, with better. No disrespect to Fulham, but with better players.
Alex Iwobi
with more consistent players, I'd say.
Do you reckon, 65, 60, 70?
I reckon 70. I think Fulham will push for 70. They'll look at someone like Caicedo and go, what's the difference?
Yeah, it should be 120 then, because I think he's better than Caicedo to go and put in time.
So,
it's a fair shout.
They should and probably will demand a lot.
They should get a lot.
Yeah, they should. Probably 70.
If he's going to walk, though, that's the thing. You really want to get something.
Because I think he'll be 29 next season, so there is that. So
what a waste of a career that he spent so much time in Portugal.
In a way,
everyone knew he was a good player. It's just that.
Did many people know about him in Portugal though? Was it just in that like top level where you're gonna spend? Because I don't know how much Fulham got him for. I don't know if it was
It wasn't massive. I think it was 30, 50, 40, something like that. Yeah. But still, imagine if he was there 4 years earlier.
It'd be how much would he go for?
He'd go for a lot of money now.
A lot of money.
A lot of money now. Gee. Fair play.
Still got loads of time to. He doesn't.
He's a player looks
again. He's had a couple of injuries, but still.
I think he's a guy that's just.
You'd pay money.
Yeah,
for sure.
These guys can hang around these DMs.
Exactly.
All right, I sort of ruled mine a little bit earlier. My number 7 is Alexis McAllister.
Yeah.
My favourite player of all time.
I thought it'd be number 1.
Couldn't just him above Rodri. What a player. And maybe he's a bit low because he probably is at his best an 8. But I think he's made so much 6 this season. I had to put him in this list. I'm going to touch on most of these players having it, but this guy's got the all-round package. We see what he does with Argentina as a further forward player.
Yep.
We see what he has done with Liverpool this season as a holder. With Endo, we talk about that duo. We could talk about that duo all day long. I feel like they're a great duo together. He can drop in, he can push on, and I think the biggest part of his game is be able to win the ball back, but then also have that vision to find the right pass instantly. There's no too many touches, he's in and out. Like at Brighton, he was a guy that was in the pivot, get the ball, spray it sideways. Nowadays, he wins the ball, gets his head up and looks forward. He's always a progressive player, partly because of that Jurgen Klopp system this season, but I didn't see that part of his game last season. And then everyone thinks he was like a 10 or an 8 at Brighton. No, he was basically a holder as well at Brighton. He was the guy that would receive it and play the square balls.
Yep.
I don't think we saw that swivel and spray the pass. He's got that in his game.
Yep.
He's just a ridiculous player. I'm in love for him for a reason because he's an absolute superstar.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I didn't know his passing was that good. I think he's one of the best passers in the Premier League. Wow. He's brilliant.
Ridiculous. He's my number 7.
Love that. 6, I've got Casemiro. Number 6.
Yeah, fair call. Yeah.
I think, obviously, as you said, there has been probably a little drop off.
Yeah.
And again, that's age and just the team being garbage around him.
Yeah.
But it'd be disrespectful to ignore not just last season, but his whole career has been unreal. Obviously, Madrid, he was huge at that DM, and even last year at United, he comes in after the first 2 games where you lost to Brighton and Brentford, and I think the first thing he said to something came out, he said to his agent get me there and I'll fix it, something like that.
Yeah.
And he backed it up. Helped big time with that trophy. Comes in with clutch goals even this season against Forest.
Massive goal.
Massive goal. And I think he's brilliant. I think he's great.
Superstar.
He's.
Wish I had him 4 years ago.
Exactly.
I wish I had him a little younger.
And not giving him a 5-year contract.
Yeah, that 5-year contract. Not sure about that.
But still, he's
glazes out.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Ineos.
Yeah, Ineos in, glazes out. Pretty easy. All right, my number 6 is Douglas Luiz.
Yeah.
Who right now is killing it at the moment. Package, got a lot. Bit of a home form merchant as well. Loves a goal at home.
It's like Genie Wijnaldum. He never scored away.
But at home, he's a cold, hard killer. Just a great player. Just got his caught for Brazil. Technical on the ball. Another guy that, you probably don't think he'll win the ball back as much as he does. Yeah. He seems like he's go under the radar. Doesn't look like that big, Palhinha type body or Casemiro type body. But he plays like it. He plays above his size and his pay grade almost, and has been superb at Villa this year. I have a bit of a soft spot for Kamara, but this guy has got the all-round package. I think those two together have been ridiculous for Aston Villa this season. And the reason why they're top 4 and will potentially win a European trophy is because of these guys. So that midfield, I don't think Watkins, I don't think Diaby and Bailey get the service they get without the pressing and the ball-playing ability of this midfield. And Douglas Luiz is centre to that. So he's my number 6.
He's not in mine.
Didn't get in.
Not because I don't rate him. I think he's class, but I think he's more of an 8 kind of thing, or like a double pivot.
Yeah.
But again, maybe next week he'll be in.
List the list.
Top 5. I've got, this might be a bit surprising, I've got Calhanoglu from Inter.
Right. Cool, because this would be, I'll probably have him as the other list as well. Yeah,
like he's obviously known as a more attacking kind of midfielder.
But he's played.
Under Inzaghi, he has played as that 6 with Barella and Mkhitaryan in front of him. And the way into play, I mean, we've seen it when Calhanoglu's been injured recently, but I think it's Aslan who's played in his position. And he's been going forward, and he scored on the weekend by running through and getting into the box and scoring. So Calhanoglu's still got loads of GA. Like I think it's like double-digit goals and like 9 assists or something. But he's got loads. And again, how aggressive their wing-backs get in DeMarco and Dumfries, I think a guy like that is so important. And the fact he can still go forward and create whilst having to sit deep with DeMarco and Dumfries, I think I don't know how he does it, but it's unreal. And
it's arguable.
I don't know if he's available for the Atletico Madrid game. I don't know, but because I don't think he wasn't on the bench in the last game. No,
he's got about a week though to hopefully be available.
So I think he's been unbelievable.
9 goals, 3 assists. Yeah, so you've nailed it. Yeah, and I guess to touch on that quickly, he's always been known as that sort of like higher to 10 or 10, it's only part of like the left sometime. The way he's just that's more than Inzaghi probably, the maestro of managers at the moment. Yeah. That's very impressive to convert in there. Especially when you got Barella, Aslan as well. You think maybe you might find a spot for them in there, but no. Allow Barella to be creative.
Yeah, Mkhitaryan can
push right on. Yeah. Ridiculous.
So,
there's the weekly interplay. Tick that off the box. in your players own bingo, tick that one off the list. All right, my top 5s now. I want to really ensure Manny as my number 5.
Ooh, okay.
Because I got someone else in here that you won't have.
Yeah.
You think you have him as a 8, but I've got him as a 6. Okay. So I've got Tchouaméni as 5. Yeah. I love this guy as well, but I think the 4 above him are just being in great form. This guy, he fought at centre half on the weekend. He's played now 4 games, I think, out of the last 5 at centre half. Composure on the ball, like this. Yeah. It's like these French players, like the Paul Pogba's of the type where they just feel like they're so composed on the ball, nothing can really faze them. That's what Tchouaméni is, but when you're around Kroos and Modric, no wonder he's got that, and he's built in him. You forget how young he is as well. He's still super young.
24,
23, 24, something like that. Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah, and someone who can spray a pass as well. Big, strong body as well. Super talented. In the next few years, we could be talking about him number 1, or even going in the playing number 8 and be number 1 in the number 8 list as well.
Centre back number 1.
Yeah, this guy he can do a lot. He's good, quick with his feet, and super strong. So he's my number 5.
Yeah, very nice. Number 4, I've got Kimmich.
Yeah,
probably one of the most versatile top level players going around at the minute. Yeah. Again, obviously the same with kind of Locatelli a bit and Casemiro with team struggling a little bit. Yeah. But he's one of those sort of shining lights where you go, I know I'm going to get for this guy. Yeah. Constant sort of 7 out of 10 player. Yeah. Once a good manager comes in, and a bit of a dig at Tuchel, sorry. But once a manager comes in that sets them up the right way, and I think, he's been part of, the countless trophies that they've won.
Too many trophies.
Yeah. Unreal.
Absolutely. He's my number 4 as well. Yep. Yeah. It just screams efficiency, just screams German. Just efficiency, gets the job done. He was almost brought up in that, like, the back end of that really prime Bayern era. Yeah. You still had, like, the Philip Lahns around the world run about, I think Boateng, all those sort of guys, which we associate with Bayern. He was coming up as a 9-10-year-old in that group. I think he's the last of that real, elite Bayern, players out of there. And he's going to do a massive job. I feel like the biggest comment we can give is when he's not there, they look a totally different team.
Their midfield looks
hollow. Or when he's not a right back, you lack that balance in that squad. He's to play right
Bit
back.
of aura about him.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got one. He's one of these ones that when he's on the pitch, you feel his presence there, right? Yeah. Command space. You're right. Doesn't put in a bad performance. I can't think of it. Doesn't get run past either. Yeah, I feel like he's had it right back most key periods. Never really gets run past. Strong into a tackle. All round games incredible. So he's on
might be. I mean, there's been. I know it's just rumours, and I don't think Fabrizio's really, but maybe a move.
A move away.
Yeah, but maybe with Tuchel going, that's kind of
helps enough.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Wouldn't mind him at Liverpool. But,
wouldn't mind him anywhere.
Yeah,
any club would take Joshua Kimmich.
Number 3, Tchouaméni.
Yeah,
so, bang on about everything you said about him, and again, in a stacked Madrid team, Ancelotti's picking him. Yeah, one of the first names on the team sheet. Yeah. His tackling and his interceptions are just elite. We've seen his versatility this season going into centre back. We know the job he does at DM is unreal. Ridiculous. But then we saw in the World Cup against England can score a banger here and there outside the box. He's going to be one of the world's best for another probably 10 years. I'd say.
But you got another one.
Another one, yeah.
Added to the list of incredible players.
Again, another week, another Madrid player in the top 3 or 4. So
what's new, eh?
What's new? Yeah.
Now here's what's going to get interesting because I've got Granit Xhaka at number 3. I'm considering him as a holder because this is a combination, I guess, the last 18 months. At Arsenal, when Partey was out for major periods, he was the 6. He sort of plays in double pivot with Andrich. And when you think about it, when the press conference came out in the weekend, he's now been involved in 2 title runs in 2 seasons. And we look back maybe 3 years ago and we're thinking this guy's a nothing player, bit of a red card merchant, lose his head a bit, shouldn't be the captain of Arsenal. And now looking at this guy, he's arguably one of the most consistent in terms of title race challenges. Like other than for the City players and the Real Madrid players, the obvious ones, this is a guy that has gone from 2 different clubs in 2 different leagues and has competed for titles in both seasons. Like that's ridiculous. And the job he's done, he's lifted his game even more at Leverkusen this season. And again, it probably helps with Andrews because he's playing that progressive style. And we saw it when Partey was there. They never lost. When Partey and Xhaka were a combination at 6 and 8 there. So he's been part of very important teams and very successful teams. Yeah. We're seeing now he's sort of toned down the aggression a little bit, so that's at a good level now. Yeah. Great tackler, really superb tackler. And then that double pivot there alongside Andrich, you're looking at one of the most solid midfielders that allows Grimaldo, allows Frimpong to push on and protects that back 3 that they're all relatively quick, but they're not like the Tars one aren't blistering. Like you haven't got out and out like Van de Ven's of the world or Romero's of the world that are very fast and can sort of make up for that. You've sort of got a few slower centre backs. So as such, when whoever drops in, whether it be Xhaka or Andrich or the combination of the 2, has done a great job this season. I feel like as a top 3, whether it be even if in number 8 role here, has to be in the thing at top 5 because the job he's done is just ridiculous.
Yeah, he'll be in my top 5 next week.
He's been incredible. So he's my number 3.
Yeah, very nice. 2, Declan Rice.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
same time. I mean, Flynn talks about him every week, so we don't need to go on. And rightly so. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's progressed his game so much over the past probably 2-3 seasons. He went from a guy that is a 6 to a guy that can play there, but maybe he's better off at an 8 now because of how good he is going forward and can still do that job defensively. And with him and Jorginho there at the moment, he's
a little duo there.
I mean, I actually genuinely considered putting him in.
Consider Jorginho,
So I mean, that's why he was 4th in the
Ballon d'Or for you, like pen merchant,
but pretty much but yeah, I mean, him and Jorginho, he's made Havertz a better player.
100%.
Just Trossard and all, he's making them better players, and it doesn't surprise me how good Arsenal are playing at the moment with a guy like him in their team.
Yeah, I've been big on him now for the last 2 years. Yeah, I think he was wasted. Not wasted. He did a great job at West Ham, but when in a David Moyes system with the Mark Nobles of the world around you and the Thomas Suchek, you couldn't quite be that real progressive player. Yep. And we see it at times in some of the West Ham games, you'd see him just spray this pass and you're like, wow, this is a player here. Yep. Handy with the ball at his feet. I'm still waiting. I'm fingers crossed for Partey being back at some point because I still want to see that combination. I know Flynn's been harping on it. For that, we saw it Xhaka and Partey. I just touched on that. Wait to see what Rice and Partey can do.
Rice and Odegaard.
Boy, that's going to be exciting. And you're right. He's made everyone better.
Do you think Arteta will even go with that? Because at the start of the season, that option was on and he played.
He didn't do it.
Partey right back. He had Havertz, Rice and Odegaard.
But I think they're realising now, I think Havertz is better at number 9 than Jesus.
Havertz has been good.
Because you can always play him as a false 9 and let Ødegaard push on and pass him at sometimes and let Havertz drop in.
Yep.
I just think if you put those two together, the chance creation, the goals, we've already seen Rice amongst the goals already. Imagine if he has that more license to push on with Partey there. It'd be ridiculous.
Scary, yeah.
This guy, and he's going to be wasted, or not wasted England, but like he's not going to be able to push on as much at England because you've got Bellingham and you're going to have maybe even a Madison in there or whoever plays alongside those three in there. Henderson.
Phillips.
Phillips. But I do want to see him at these Euros go out and, push on and try and progress England's play because he's got that in his locker. I think we may never see it.
Whether Southgate is,
willing to do it.
Yeah, going to change, which I don't think anyone sees. But yeah,
it could be the best number 8 we would ever see, but we might not ever see it. This might just be the luck of the draw. We might never see it. Maybe. Hey, number 6 though. Top 2 number 6.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then 1 with Rodri.
Speaks for itself.
Yeah, we don't need to speak much about him.
How many games unbeaten now?
Oh God,
it's ridiculous. Isn't it?
Did he play Brentford last year where they lost 2-0 at home?
I think it's I think he did.
It was been longer. Yeah, it's mental, isn't it? And he's only like late 20, like 27. He looks like early 30s. We got to put up with this guy for another 6 years at the highest level.
Snap him.
Yeah, please go to Saudi. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't go after Salah. Go after
go after Rodri.
But yeah, he'll go down as top 5 DM of all time in the league, maybe.
Absolutely.
The way he's going, he's just brilliant at everything. You know, we've touched on him a lot. You know, I know you boys touched on him a lot on Monday. But again, goes forward, scores goals. You can't coach some of the stuff he does. It's just natural. It's just it's normal for him. Yeah. To do some of the stuff he does.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's brilliant. Can go forward. The whole package. So he's the perfect player.
As John Stones, a wonder about.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that John Stones is stepping forward and I'm seeing him near the corner flag is like, you know what? I'm not going to question it because Rodri's there. And, so it's...
Pep's guy as well, right?
Yeah.
You always give him plus 10 points if Pep chooses you. You're a chosen one.
He's done 50... Is it 50 odd games?
I think it's half a century of games. And you know what? It's clutch goals as well. You talk about what you can't teach. You can't teach clutch goals. Yeah, no. FA Cup final, Champions League final,
Sheffield away, the left footed.
And that was a finish as well, by the way. Yeah. And he doesn't score bad. He always belted. Even the Tottenham game, the Chelsea game to equalise. Yeah. I don't bounce out to him, but he belted the thing. I know. He doesn't even any of his shots. He hits the leather off the ball.
Geez, that Man City Sheffield game 1-0. They're looking at that going, that's a bad result. That.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a.
I would be. Imagine if Sheffield played Man City now. Gee, that would be double digits for sure. That'd be.
Hey, 10. By the way, we're talking about my predictions on the Monday show. I said 7-0 for us. It was 6-0. So I was very close to it.
I think I said 6. I think no, I'll go 6.
Yeah, bang, nailed on the head.
But no, fair play with that.
Got close. But no, Rodri.
I mean,
if Barca had money, he'd be there in heart. I feel like that would have been
maybe
number 1 signing.
I mean, Actually, well, he's at Atletico and then
what happened?
At the time, I don't think Barca had issues with money. So that I mean, he was half the player that he is now.
No, he's not the player now.
Even if Barca had the money, I think he'd have to pay like 150. Maybe more, close to 200, I think.
Well, for Caicedo, if we're going for Caicedo being 110, look at 200.
As good as Rice is, I think the gap is massive.
No, it's massive. I think, and to be exactly in terms of a 6, I think Rice, in terms of your all-round game, he's probably got some better assets in terms of going forward.
Yeah.
But Rodri, just as a 6, in doing what you need to do in terms of playing these new systems and inverting and chucking fullbacks, chucking centre-backs into midfield, it's priceless. Yeah. What Rodri does.
Yeah.
So
he's brilliant.
Kick him out the league, brilliant. It's unfair advantage.
Yeah.
If Rodri wasn't there, what a parallel universe we've been. Maybe you guys are running away the league now. 10 points clear.
Maybe. Yeah, but they would have brought in some fucking wonder kid from somewhere.
Some next player.
Fernandinho 2.0. So, you know.
Come on, Fernandinho to Rodri.
Who would have thought that you could step... Like, Fernandinho was brilliant, but he's nothing compared to Rodri.
No. Even like David Silva to De Bruyne. We thought David Silva would have gone down as probably the City's best until De Bruyne rocked up. They just recycle the next one.
It's getting better and better.
Each time. Yeah. All right, I just want to run over our list one more time just to finish the segment up. Yeah. Interesting. First week we've been a bit different because of the positioning.
Yeah. So I've got 10 Locatelli, 9 Endo, 8 Andrić, 7 Palhinha, 6 Casemiro, 5 Kalinoglu, 4 Kimmich, 3 Tchouameni, 2 Rice, 1 Rodri.
Classic. I went to Ugarte 10, Casemiro 9, Bruno Guimaraes 8, Alexis McAllister 7, Douglas Luiz 6, Aurelien Tchouameni 5, Joshua Kimmich 4, Granit Xhaka 3, Declan Rice 2, Rodri 1.
Yep, nice.
Very good list.
Very nice. A couple of yours I'll have on mine.
I've said a couple of yours I might have on mine.
Exactly.
This next week I might not work out level up.
Yeah. So don't hate on us yet. Just wait till we do the whole all the midfield position.
And if you hate us, just subscribe anyway. Why not? Just add to the subscribes anyway. Alrighty, we'll move from Italy to Germany now, and we'll save up the rant for a little bit longer. We're going to start on one of my second teams, one of the seven teams I have in Stuttgart. They have been ridiculous once again, and all on the back of Guirassy. He has been brilliant. An underrated superstar this season. Kane's got 27, we get that. He might break Lewandowski's record, but you know who's right behind him is, say, Guirassy at the moment. He, right now...
How many goals do you have there?
I have it there. I've written too many numbers down here. 20 goals and 18 appearances.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Goals per game ratio is through the roof this season. And he's been him and Dav have been so important in terms of how they play their football. Because as I say a lot, Germany in terms of the other leagues are a bit more progressive. Right? We're seeing 15 shots each team a game. It's on the front foot. You look at Leipzig, you look at Leverkusen in many regards, Dortmund, and you look at Stuttgart. But what Stuttgart do well is, as well as they go forward and being clinical with Guirassy and Undav, they also, they concede a lot of chances and concede a lot of goals in many regards, but they are never in danger of being overrun. Teams never really overrun them in games. And, Wolfsburg put up a good fight at them in this game here. They won the game 3-2 in the end, but it never felt like Wolfsburg were ever going to outrun them or outplay them in the game.
As soon as they scored, Stuttgart just...
instantly straight back. Yep. Ridiculous. So Guirassy at the 14th minute goal. Mailer from Wolfsburg got one back just before half-time. Guirassy, the penalties make it 2-1, and then Wagnerman scored back at 3-1, and obviously Wolf had a late goal. But
just consolation
in the end. It just feels like you can't stop these teams.
Fair fucking play to them.
They're killing it. They're in third and clear. I think they're sort of a clear third now,
Champions
right?
League should be close to a guarantee. You would like to think so, surely. With how inconsistent, obviously Leipzig being a young team. Yeah. Again, we rate them highly, but it's when you're a young team, you're going to have inconsistencies. And Dortmund, you have no idea. Match week to match week, you have no idea. So they hopefully should get that third place, and they're not there by luck. It's consistent. It's good, consistent, as you said, football. Guirassy's been brilliant. I swear his release clause is like nothing as well.
There's a lot of strikers in the Bundesliga right now. I'd be keeping an eye on. Like you've got Openda, you've got Guirassy here, Boniface. Yeah. Like they've got so many strikers at Leverkusen. They've got Borja Iglesias as well. He's
Schick as well.
Strikers for days. Here's the upcoming fixtures. Union Berlin, who have turned a corner but still quite poor this season.
Hoffenheim, bottom. Berlin.
Yeah, they're third bottom, fourth bottom.
They were better against Dortmund. I don't know how they didn't score.
No,
but still
somehow,
hanging near the bottom.
Hoffenheim away, which would be a difficult one, but they should get over the line there. Heidenheim at home, they'll beat them. A big game versus Dortmund.
That's the decider.
I guess that will be the one, right? That's at Dortmund too. Big game
I'd
for them.
I'd still back them though.
I think with their goal scoring, they'll get the better of them.
Something similar to what Hoffenheim did.
Absolutely. Do that, Frankfurt, Werder Bremen, Leverkusen, and Bayern. So those two games will be massive as well if they're still competing, if they can nick a point from one of those, and then Augsburg and Mönchengladbach to end the season off. So hopefully by that Leverkusen game, the fourth from last game, it's all wrapped up for them because they're now 4 points off Bayern and 6 points
to Dortmund. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
So closer to Bayern than for Dortmund.
How many points off Dortmund, sorry?
6 points ahead of Dortmund. Oh. Ridiculous.
They should be. I mean, hopefully by the time they get to that Dortmund game, it might not matter.
Yeah, and if they get the 3 points, they just close it all off. It's like no chance of it happening.
I mean, even if they lose to Dortmund, and like Leipzig still have to maintain the pressure, and I don't think the gap between Dortmund or Leipzig's changed. I think it's still that sort of still like a couple of points.
Yeah.
Just with
it's 1 point. So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Just with Leipzig's kind of young, inconsistent team, you sort of now kind of back Dortmund. But I would love Leipzig to be.
I hope they get through.
Yeah.
Just to send off Xabi Simons in the right manner.
Yeah. Hopefully he can
leave him with a parting gift, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Another point I want to touch on as well is Chris Fulhich, who's sort of plays left attacking mid and left wing. I just saw him when I was looking at this game and I've looked through some of the stats. He's been also a very impressive player this side. Another one of those ones that just want to touch on, give everyone their props here. 6 goals, 7 assists from that sort of wide left, sort of wide attacking midfielder positioning. And then also in this last few games, Maximilian Mittelstadt, who had the assist for Garassi's first goal from the left, where he just got in behind. He's sort of this wing back in the sense that I'm not going to hold it in many regards. He sort of just pushes on. You look at his heat map, most of it's on the halfway line rather than defensively, which is sort of a key in this Bundesliga season for all these wing backs. Martin as well. He's just pushed on as well. He's been very, very good the last 5 games.
Yeah, he's been massive.
His ratings in like 8+ across the last 5 games.
Even the commentators mentioned.
I think after the goal they mentioned him as well.
What are Chelsea missing out on here? So
you've got all these exciting, younger, progressive players in the Bundesliga. It's if anyone would take a bid on them in terms of like the Premier League, La Liga.
I'd be shocked if Dortmund didn't go for Maatsen. I'd be stunned.
Maatsen.
I mean, Chelsea surely they would want to keep him with how he's been doing. I mean, Chilwell's kind of experienced, but you got to move past some of these Chelsea players.
Cucurella.
Yeah, no. But yeah, like as he's like the Stuttgart player.
Mittelstadt,
the commentators were mentioning him as well.
About him as well, yeah.
And then as soon as they mentioned him, he whipped in a ball, and I think it was
the goal for Garassi's goal, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're seeing this across just the Bundesliga. These young progressive fullbacks, Frimpong,
It feels like you have to be these sort of like trendier.
Especially in the Bundesliga, you have to play.
You have to be high and wide.
So,
basically second winger. You're on the half. I generally looked at his heat map, and most of it's on the halfway line in terms of his average positioning, which goes to show how high and wide these guys have to get. I think he's about 16 appearances. I think 9 starts now, but the last 5 games he's been a key figure for them.
Yeah, come on, Stuttgart.
Come on. Okay, we've got a lot of second teams.
We've got a lot of
we're going to back these guys
teams like Stuttgart, Bologna, stuff like that.
We back the boys in, get them over the line.
Hopefully.
For football, for the world's game.
Yeah.
We're sick
with
of
the new Champions League system, I mean, I think having it, imagine like Bologna versus Stuttgart.
Classic tie.
Like it would be, some might say it might be boring, but with how they play, it might be quite entertaining.
For the fans as well. Imagine the atmosphere in those games.
Oof.
These guys I wouldn't have seen. I think this is the best season they've had since the early 2000s, Stuttgart.
Yeah.
I've obviously touched earlier about the relegation stuff we're talking about, but I think they had a Champions League run in the 2000s, and ever since never really been close. So this is monumental stuff for the club.
Were we born? Or are we talking like 2001?
No, I'm talking about so before we were born, yeah. So
that's crazy.
And I'm already old. I got sort of back already, so that goes to show how long they've been out of the big European leagues.
Fair play to them.
Fair play. It's very exciting to see. We're all for it.
Fair play if you putting their manager in the top 10.
Top 10, put him 10th.
Yeah, fair enough.
I got to climb that back.
And you put Alonso quite like.
I put him 4th, 5th?
I think 6th or something. I had him 10th, so at the
Washed
time I was like
knowledge.
Liverpool tax. So, I'm washed.
Yeah,
I'm finished.
We'll be doing a lot of these lists back in when the transfer window dies down. We've got a lot to talk about over the summer, so we'll have to redo all these lists once again. All right, on to a bit of a dour, angry note. The players' own curse coming back onto another team, hopefully. Bayern.
I don't know if it's angry. I think it's just kind of normal these days.
As it is. Each week, just hating them.
Yeah.
Now, I made these talking points the day before, so I know they won last night, a much better performance.
Yeah.
Cool, good. We're talking about the league. We're talking about league football right now. They drew 2-2 to Freiburg, and we're talking about Bundesliga being open league. They conceded a lot of chances to Freiburg.
Yeah, they did.
They probably were the better team in terms of the full 90, but conceding, I think, 12 shots to Freiburg is not what you want to be.
Neuer, they would have been 1-0 up.
What a save.
Yeah, was it the volley or like a volley?
It was like a reaction, though. It was ridiculous.
I know they scored like 10 seconds later from it, but still.
What a save.
I feel like with Bayern at the minute, like, it's a bit like Liverpool last year where some of the goals they're conceding, it's like if they were playing well and top of the league, those goals, that doesn't happen. Like if they might get those shots off, but it'll miss or hit the post or you get a bit lucky.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just going through one of those patches at the minute, but it doesn't take into account how bad their football is at the moment and how much individual like brilliance, like moments, like it's like Man United,
those two.
Musiala. Yeah. I've been crying for Tell to start for weeks.
First start goal.
And that was his first start in the Bundesliga, which is mental.
The commentators were raving about it. I'm like, that is Nathan's shout from about 5 weeks ago.
Literally, when we first start.
These
We did our
midweek
18
show,
to 30. I said that he should be starting over Sane.
Superstar player.
His goal was brilliant, but it's just individual brilliance. You know, Musiala's goal is probably up there with the Bundesliga goal of the season.
It has to be up there, sure.
So again, you know, Kane again, he's been brilliant. But it's been individual moments. It's never as a team they've done well. So,
Yeah.
But again, you know, it's going to be them all season. Tuchel's leaving. Players are looking for next season and just kind of getting past this season. So,
it's, you know, it's 12 seasons winning the trophy. They're gonna, I think they can win now. 10
no,
points,
they can't
10
win.
games.
There's no way they can win.
Surely
this.
not.
Even if Leverkusen lose 2 games, Bayern still have to make it up and then make up another 6 points, or you know.
I think they don't play each other. There's no 6-pointers either. That's the thing.
And even Leverkusen, like they haven't against. I think it was Mainz where they won 2-1. Got a bit lucky again. They didn't play well, but they won.
They get over the line.
They get over exactly the derby, the red card, and then they didn't play great, but they got over the line with their wing backs. So, you know, they're doing everything that a champion team does, and Bayern are doing the complete opposite. Just
giving Man City vibes at Leverkusen at the moment.
It is.
It's like, like the derby in the weekend, big game, like hyped
That's
up a lot.
the game where you would like, if they're going to drop points and start to stumble, would be now. But
guess you
pretty
both
comfortable.
fullbacks turn up. And I
know
it settle,
I know at 1-0, I think they hit the post, which was very unlucky. Could have gone in. But even if they scored, you down to 10 men, you'd just back them with how their wing backs get in.
You ride your luck a bit as well.
Exactly.
You always have moments like that.
Yeah.
So for Bayern this game, I just want to touch on Tells. I think he's getting a new deal to 2029 now, so he's locked away now. So no more, we can't put rumours in for him now. He's locked away now. Now it's a smart move for them.
Very smart.
This game goes to show me where the future lies. It's in the likes of Kimmich, it's in the likes of Tell, and it's in the likes of Musiala, and build around them. And like, I know Kane's had a ridiculous season. I'm not trying to like individualise on Kane. I know people have tried to do that. He's been ridiculous, but it feels like they just limit what they can do in some of their big players that Kane's there. They sort of are forced to play a certain style for Kane.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, and this is where we keep talking about Tottenham. Would they still be able to play the same style with Kane? And they probably could, but it feels like we haven't been able to see the best of Tell this season because you have to play behind Kane. If Tell started the whole season, what's saying he couldn't have 27 goals so far.
On the left though, and
I
think they have a lot of passioners in that team. Like I don't know why Eric Dyer's there. I don't know why he's starting. I think Leroy Sané is becoming a passenger.
He's been awful. Yeah.
I think do you move on with guys like Goretzka and even I know it's harsh, and we said last week he's probably one of the most underrated players. But Thomas Muller, do you just have to?
He's been good the last week.
I know,
but it's probably right to
like you got to build around Tell and Kane and Musiala, and as good as Muller is, I think to where Bayern want to be, which is winning Champions Leagues and being consistently smashing the Bundesliga. I think you got to be harsh and be ruthless.
Yeah,
and just don't have to sell him, but he shouldn't be starting every game. I know he's done well.
He's arguably their best player in the last week. That goes to show where Bayern are at.
It's just it's kind of like you
need to move on.
You need to move on in a way. Yeah. So hand the reins over. So.
I think there's problems at the back. Like they've had a lot of great big money signs, but I don't think it's working at the back at the moment. I'd keep Kim. I think he's probably their best centre half. Matthias doesn't look like the player that we all thought he was going to be. I think he's had moments this season. He's had great moments.
It's just there would have been nice with some consistency with De Ligt and Kim Min-jae.
Yeah,
but bringing in Dyer like that, just even I don't blame De Ligt. I just blame the manager. I know it's harsh, but when you got a guy like him on the bench for Eric Dyer, like even when he plays, you can't expect him to play well because he's probably just pissed off by how he's been treated in a way. Yeah, so
I'd be furious.
Yeah, obviously they're going to lose Davies, so that's another young sort of player that they're going to lose, which they would build around. But I think they just got to be ruthless this transfer window. The money's there, like it always is. You
don't need a left back. Mazraoui, I think, should walk back into that right back spot. He was very good before he got...
No more Lima at right back.
Lima would be a great holding midfielder in this team. Allow Kimmich to maybe play as that sort of 8.
Yep.
It's just, I think there's a lot of problems. They'll swing the axe and they'll make some big signings. They've already begun
talks with Alonso, apparently, which, again, I'm unhappy about. But, I mean, you got to respect it. They're a club that always always feels the need to be ambitious. So,
I want to veto it just to keep the Bundesliga interesting and to keep the Premier League exciting as well. But you probably end up there knowing what Bayern can do. They just pull strings all the time. I expect a new centre-back maybe a new right back, maybe a left back as well. I think there'll be a lot of signings to the defensive part.
A couple of forwards as well that they always kind
winger,
of look at. Yeah, a winger they'll need.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just they have to bring in the right manager.
Start
For my
there
sake,
first.
I hope it's not Alonso. But I mean,
Stuttgart manager,
by all
bring him
accounts,
across.
they'll offer him everything.
Yeah.
So
Well, look at we're in a manager world.
yeah,
Inter, Stuttgart, Bologna, Liverpool,
Yeah.
Man City.
it's all about the manager.
Managers win you
It's all about
trophies
the
and
manager.
titles at the moment.
Doesn't matter how good your recruitment is. Bayern they've recruited great.
Yeah.
But it's
But if the manager can't use these players,
exactly.
I guess the best. You guys are the best chance. McAllister and Endo beat 120 million. They beat 180 million versus what 60 million.
I mean, Endo by himself beat Chelsea's midfield. So
Yeah, 30. What is it? 15, 20 mil. Beat them all.
Yeah,
So that's good.
exactly.
So money doesn't buy you success these days. It's managers,
Now it's managers. Yeah.
coaches.
Yep.
Alrighty, that's our rant for a better performance in Champions League, by the way, but much better. But
But it was paper over the cracks in a way.
love that paper over the crowd. One of my favourite sayings in football. Let's move to Spain quickly. The top three decided not to turn up on the weekend. Barcelona and Athletic Club being very impressive. We touched them now a fair bit.
Yeah.
That was one of the most boring 0-0s.
Yeah, that was dead.
That was just nothing in that game there.
I watched the extended highlights of that
I still found nothing.
Because I didn't know what the score was.
Right,
I was like, I'll watch,
gonna watch it out.
without checking the score. And I was like,
Snooze
I'm
fest.
expecting a Barca last minute goal. But then I see De Jong and Pedri and I'm like,
That's the biggest
fucking hell.
news out of the game, right?
I mean, we've been banging on about,
Overplaying.
not to toot our own horns, but we've been banging on about it. You overplay them and this happens.
Yeah.
So it's happened with Gavi. It's happening with Pedri.
There's now
It'll happen
Ferran.
to Yamal if they're not careful. So.
If you lose him, that's a problem. There's now Ferran, Alex Balde, Gavi, De Jong, Pedri as the big
That's
names
their
that are out.
midfield three.
Yeah. And I think one of the best, I like Balde, he's one of the best fullbacks in the world, I think, at his best. So, yeah, there you go. Like, we said it, it happened. De Jong's now had 3 injuries in 3 years.
He was never injured at Ajax.
No,
now
never.
he's fucking,
He's gone. And now we're seeing the drop before. I've been harsh on the season, but you can see why, though. He's probably carrying all these knocks around and rolls the ankle over. Bad injury. He'll be out.
Even the Pedri one. Like, I think it was the year of the Euros, the last Euros, 2022.
Yeah.
He played the Euros, obviously the full Barca season, like all their cups and stuff.
The Olympics
And the Olympics.
Yeah.
Why was he at the Olympics? And there's like a photo of him, and he looks fucking knackered.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those players. He needs like 6 months off, and I don't mean like rehab. I mean just
off.
Just go away.
Get him on the beach.
Go to the beach,
Yeah.
chill. Because he's how old is that? 21. His hammies are gone.
He paid the pass and just snapped. He knew straight away.
They're the worst kind of injuries.
That's bad. And
At 21, yeah. Like,
Making a
no one
pass.
near him, just a simple pass.
Yeah, it's
For him,
bad
it's just
signs.
basic, and he's
It's
the De Jong one. Like he jumped and then landed.
yeah.
That happens.
It happens. But then I say this again, it happens when the more you play, the more chance you get to do those things.
True.
So it goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
I'm just so worried we're going to miss that midfield three could have been the best in the world. I think we're going to miss
it could
all
be,
of their best.
yeah.
I think they'll never reach their best, all three of them.
I think it'll be the biggest what if. Even their youngsters, like what if Barca weren't in this financial crisis where they could buy midfielders and gradually bring in these youngsters.
Blend these guys in. Because you're going to have
we're going to miss out on a massive generation at Barca.
And the problem is, if they do get moved on, we're not going to see the best of these players ever. Unfortunately, I think that's the way it is. We touched on when we did the 18 to 21 or 18 to 31 list, whatever it was. We always said these guys, their faces, or Pedri, Gavi, and even De Jong might all appeared. We kept saying to each other though, if they get another injury, what happens? I said, what happens when Gavi comes back? Is he the same sort of player? Can he still be on the swivel? Can he still control the game? We don't know.
We don't know with
big
Pedri,
injuries. These are not small injuries. They're big deals. Yeah, and it's not really Xavi's fault because it's on the club now. Because
he has to play them.
Yeah,
you're not gonna, even if they just come back, you're not gonna bench them and play like they've been playing. They've already been playing Christensen at DM with
which is a shambles.
Pedri coming back in De Jong. So, I mean, Barca's just whoever the next manager is. I fucking wish them all the best, honestly, because again, you look at the youngsters in Yamal and Pedri. Gavi and Balde and good solidified players in Ter Stegen and Cancelo and Gundogan.
All good,
but they're getting on, and all the youngsters are just getting more and more injury prone, and you got no money. So, Oriol Romeo time, I guess.
Well, I would say Oriol Romeo will have to play his Champions League game. He's going to play the Champions League
game. The way Napoli are playing, heavy favourites.
They might chop him to pieces.
Yeah.
So you got Fermin Lopez probably play there.
Yep.
Christensen and Romeo.
Fucking hell, for Barca.
Oh, and then Gundogan. So maybe so probably be Christensen, Gundogan, and Fermin Lopez.
Yeah.
But still
that's
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Football Club Barcelona. The big old Barcelona.
Well, that's what happens when you just overspend on.
You cheat.
Yeah, just overspend on garbage recently. Like, I mean, I was, Rafinha for what, 60 mil though, but like, he was brilliant in the Prem, but that's not one
certain system he works in.
Yeah.
All these leads by Calvin Phillips, Rafinha. We're seeing these players only work in that system.
Yeah.
Where it was high pace, high energy, high intensity.
For Coutinho and
the fact you're playing Pedro to the left anyway from the start.
Yeah.
Like
even just to get him in.
It's just a shambles. It's all over the place.
I don't know.
Good luck to the next manager. Good luck.
I hope the youngsters just I hope this is just a little blip and it's not something long term because.
But even if you're a big player, do you want to go to Barca? Do you want to go and join this?
It's the
curse,
pull, isn't it? It's the history.
The curse of this injury.
It's the history, though. I don't think players really care about that. You look at just the history of that club. It's just it's every kid.
They need them. They need their next player. They need that Yamal to come through because they've had you had the Cruyff, then you have even the Iniesta, Xavi, then you have the Messi, then you have who's now.
Yeah. Because
I see all the comments without Messi, who is Barcelona right now? What are they? They're just a club. They're a top 4 club. That's what it feels at the moment. As harsh as it sounds, that's what it feels.
I love that we're saying all this, but they're a couple of points off Girona, and they can
they're still
win the league.
but this sort of compounds the fact that you had to win this weekend with what happened with Real, with Girona dropping points. They dropped points as well.
If they win, we could be having a different conversation a little bit.
100%.
We'd still have a goal at the injuries, but we could say if you just grind out a couple of results, Madrid drop a couple.
Yeah. Madrid are in the injury problems as well.
We'll
get them in a little bit quickly and touch on Mallorca beating Girona. What a week for Mallorca, by the way.
Oh,
through to the Copa del Rey final.
Probably the best in the club's history. Surely.
Yeah,
best week.
In small little Mallorca as well. It's not like a massive place. They got the job done versus Girona as well,
and deserved it.
The fans were up for it as well. They really got around it. It was sort of a yucky sort of game in terms of the conditions weren't quite there for it. Early goal and just held on. Girona just running out of gas a little bit, I think.
It's understandable. Yeah. It's not the biggest squad. It's not, in terms of money, it's not, they spent the biggest. Again, they'll still get top 4, which will be great for them, Champions League football. But again, like we said, probably when we first started talking about them, as long as the goals keep on coming in, not an issue. The goals have dried up a little.
All goes right.
And again, they're not conceding huge amounts, but one goal is the difference at the moment. It's just lacking a little bit, and it's understandable.
Just the final third.
They've had a tough season with a couple of VAR calls and just the overall kind of just how tough it is to keep up with Madrid, and obviously got Barca with
taxing.
Yeah, it's hard. So
you're playing with the 10th of the budget, probably.
Exactly. So still fair play to them. They'll get top 4, and again, Savio will leave, and maybe a couple of other players will gain big interest.
Yeah,
but it's about trying to keep those and then buying 3 or 4 good squad players.
Be smart about the signings.
So, it's not going to be about quality. I think quantity.
Yeah. Pep's brother has to cook up some more signings for them.
Yeah.
Before we go on to Real Madrid, our weekly Almeria catch up. They did lose 1-0 to Celta Vigo.
Oh, they lost. I actually forgot about them.
They got the red card in the 65th.
That was like the one. That's against Celta Vigo.
The one game that had to win. We're done.
We're screwed. We're done.
See me with dyed hair.
That was the one game.
That was the game.
I forgot to check the score.
I checked it yesterday when I was checking all the scores. Like, oh no.
Yeah, we're done.
Red card killed it. Mingueza scored not long after that. So
yeah, we're finished.
They're cursed, man. Almeria cursed club at the moment. I want to see the clash of titans. Sheffield United versus Almeria. What a batter that would be.
Who would win? I think Almeria. Oh, absolutely.
Nah, no.
Luca Romero, he had a bad injury. He came off.
I'm sure that.
I still back Almeria. Sheffield are fucking garbage.
Almeria will be up 2-0 and manage to draw the game.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be. It'll be a 2-2 draw because somehow Sheffield United will put it up their backside. But
that, to be honest, I would actually find that more interesting than a couple of the Champions League games we got going on.
Absolutely right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Hint, champs, they get better. Get some bigger clubs.
Oh my God, Almeria, Sheffield, God. What a
game.
Come on, Almeria. Just get something, man. Just to
give us something, Almeria. Another big one is the controversy between Valencia and Real Madrid. Feels like every year something goes on between these two clubs, whether it be...
Feels like every week something goes on with Madrid.
Oh,
whether
Madrid
it's VAR or just...
Now, Okay, we've got to get to championship just after this. So I've watched 3 different games and had 3 different outputs. So we've got the Liverpool game, which I believe rightly so, the ball was allowed to be put back in the box. A goal happens.
Yep.
Blah, blah. In the championship, Huddersfield and Leeds. Huddersfield had it just outside the edge of the area, but the player was turning away, running away from the goal to get it back into the area. He blows up full time, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
This game here, the ball gets swung out to the flank. It was Brahim Diaz.
Yep.
Chest towards goal, running onto the ball to cross the ball into the box. I think people now worked out the ball was mid-air as the whistle went, not as he kicked it.
I thought it sounds like it was before.
It sounds like it was before, but
so
I've read somewhere that they reckon it was in the air.
Oh, okay.
Which changed the whole story.
It sounds like before.
That's what I thought as well. But I read up, and that's why Real have now report or like sanctioned or something.
They've like appealed it.
They've appealed it, yeah. Which does nothing these days. You don't get anything back from it.
You're not going to get a replay.
Obviously,
we didn't, so.
Yeah, exactly. You deserve the replay. Any team deserves the replay. And then Bellingham obviously heads it home, goes to celebrate, ruled off full time.
Yeah.
Now, again, I get it if it was... I still don't even get it though, because Brahim Diaz was coming onto the ball, about to cross the ball into the area. There was a truckload of added time because of the big knee injury.
8 minutes, and I think they were on like the 99th and 30 seconds or something.
But I think the rule's going to be... I know it's subjective, but if it's in the final third, let the players play.
Thing. It's an entertainment business.
You said it's on Monday.
I said it's an entertainment business. You have to the refs have to let the players, do what they want in a way.
Football.
Whether it comes to, added on time, it's a minimum of 8 minutes. Yeah. So if it's in an attacking play, let it go on. Let the defense clear it.
Yeah.
It's football saying play the final whistle.
Yeah.
So again, like, I understand the frustration, and I completely get Bellingham getting sent off. I get it, because anyone would be heated in that moment. Fuming. You got the ball, edge of the box, you're going to whip it in.
Yeah.
Just let the game go on. Again, I feel bad for the ref because he's obviously looked at his watch, he's seen we're almost at the 100th minute. Yeah. With how much talk there is about why is there so much added time, he's probably like, I need to end this game. Because it just looked like Madrid they were never going to clear it. They were never going to clear it.
Yeah.
But again, it comes down to the coaching of these refs at the end of the day.
It's
no matter what, they got to clear it.
Yeah,
they have to clear it.
It's tough, and I understand. Like you said, I've been big on the whole minutes thing. That's why injuries are happening. But
they're stuck at a crossroads, refs. I do feel sorry for them.
I feel like when it's Carvajal with a bit of space and then plays that extra ball, when you see that extra ball being played, you think, okay, let me just hold on, let me see what happens here. Then you can blow up. Because then the header gets cleared, then you just go bang, whistle blown. Yeah. But it's the fact, and it obviously makes it worse that Bellingham's head's at home, but like, it just would have made the game so much better as well. The game was obviously ridiculous as it was, because Real made the early mistakes within 30 minutes, 2-0 up Valencia, but then Vinicius comes back.
They always go 2-0 down. I swear it's every week. They play like a couple of games a week.
Yeah.
They always come back from 2-0 down. It's ridiculous.
That's always either Bellingham or Vinicius or like a Brahim Diaz. Everyone just pops up for this team.
You wouldn't say it's concerning the amount they go 2-0 down, would you? Concerning the injuries?
Yeah, I think
that's where
If you get Courtois, Rudiger, saying that Lunin made a ridiculous save
He's been fucking unbelievable.
Kepa's back, by the way, and you see him on the bench. Yeah. Like, Lunin's getting the contract no matter what happens. He's getting the contract.
Yeah, I know Liverpool fans and like other fans are saying Keller's the best number 2 in the world. I'm looking at Lunin like he's doing the same job as Courtois.
Yeah, he is.
Like,
no right to make that save. I know it was sort of close enough to him, but the reflex, he was belted at him. Bang. And even the commentators, those are Spanish commentators.
Save. They're brilliant, aren't they?
They got around it. Oh, but I was like, oh, yes, I love this. They have some energy and intensity.
They're very good.
A massive save. But yeah, even Bellingham could have made it 3-2. Great little move. And the other keeper made a huge save as well, the other end. So these two clubs will learn how to put in a great game. They'll feel like all the time. At Valencia, it's always a very good game.
No matter where, like, their position on the league, always a good game.
Always put up a great game. And yeah, you're right. It is a bit concerning considering how close these games are. But when it's close games, you always back Real. I say this to the cows come home. They've just got that mentality. You've got the aura of Ancelotti to the sidelines as well to get the job done in the end. So I'm not worried as of yet. It's going to hurt the Champions League because you can't keep taking it late in the Champions League. But
once they get all their players back, if they're still going 2-0 down, then it's a bit like, okay, how long can this keep going on for? But with the injuries they got and just with different circumstances, you can... I mean, they come back anyway, so it's, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter.
If you get the league and the Champions League this season, and then you get all your players back, and then you get Mbappe and Alphonso Davies, you think you're laughing. You might just have to calm down, Real fans, because I think you got it covered.
They're playing beginner on career mode. They're giving themselves like a takeover all that. So
here's your money and go on and do it.
It's ridiculous, but I mean, why not?
You do what you want, Real.
Exactly.
More drop points for them though. So but again, as I said, all 3 clubs drop points, so they're still around 8 points clear of Barca and a few.
They've already won it. I mean,
I think
the
Aura gets it anyway.
Still got a shit ton of players to come back. So Alaba, Courtois. I don't know if Alaba will come back this year.
It's gonna be tight.
Maybe at the very end. Yeah. But again, he might probably be on the bench. You'd think.
Yeah. You'd hope that Tchouameni's not playing centre back for a Champions League.
But I mean, Lunen's fucking undroppable at the moment. So
it'd be very hard
to drop him. Yeah.
But Courtois. We know what he does in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Anyway. Again, we're running out of time again, but quickly want to do a championship round-up to end off the episode. Again, we will do another combined 11, but end up being very one-sided, so we'll just let us decide this week. Championship round-up. Here we go. Let me just rattle off a few things that happened on the weekend. Leicester lost their 3rd game in a row after QPR beat them. They had 72, I think, % possession.
Very concerned.
QPR got on the line. They did win midweek, though, a 1-0 win, I think, in the week. So they're still on top. But they were at 1 point, 12 points clear in the midpoint game against Leeds. 3,
isn't it?
And now it's 3 over Ipswich. Ipswich now continue to be in good form and they continue to push.
Yeah, Ipswich beat Bristol.
Yeah. So this happened. All these games were Saturday or weekend games. Huddersfield went down to 10 men but held on for a point versus Leeds.
Yep.
Patrick Bamford, a late goal or 67th minute goal, got them that result. But gee, even that game there, that was one of the greater games I watched on the weekend.
Leeds will be annoyed because Huddersfield are near the bottom. And
absolutely.
They're the games. I know the championship is so even, but they're the games at the bottom. When you're playing one of those bottom teams, you just got to win. You need to bank them. The
new manager for Huddersfield was in the Bundesliga. I think Frankfurt, I think it was a Frankfurt older manager from last season. And he plays some very solid football. So I recognise the name. I looked into it. I haven't got all the information down.
I think I know who it is.
But him and Daniel Farke are close mates, so German mates.
Breitenreiter?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he was at Frankfurt a few years back. Yep. So I think we're safest now around. They're playing much better football. He's turned them around. They were quite good into the red card. So fair play to Huddersfield. Got the game off to a cracking start and held Leeds, who, as you said, will be kicking themselves. Considering Leicester's 3 losses in a row.
Even Ipswich have won, so now they're 2 points behind.
Yeah.
Ipswich.
So Leeds sort of sitting at an awkward spot. So it's sort of the top 3 battling for the...
This race is going to be unreal for instant promotion to get into the playoffs. And then I don't know about relegation. I think
relegation's a bit off, I think. Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday could work their way out. There's 4 teams on 38 points.
Even Birmingham are on 39, Millwall 40, Rovers and Plymouth off on 4. Like, besides Rotherham, like it's...
Rotherham are nowhere, but Rotherham are a smaller club.
Yeah, still, I mean, that's the championship, isn't it?
And I tell you what, the game of the weekend in terms of I think once again, the best game of the weekend probably came for the championship. Birmingham lost 3-4 to Southampton. Yeah. This game had it all back and forth. So Birmingham led in 2 minutes, but Miyoshi, Bakuna's long-range shot came off the post and then Bazunu's back. So that could have been 2-0 in the space of like 10 minutes.
Yep.
Adam Armstrong equalised in the 18th minute. Then Stansfield for the Blues got him back in front. Birmingham led into the 41st minute, just before half-time. Then equalised. David Brooks, what a goal. I don't know how he's ended up at Southampton. He's too good for Southampton.
He's very good.
With a curling, cracking left foot finish in the 55th minute, made it 2-2. Che Adams then came back to haunt his former side. He scored on the hour mark, putting it in the back of the net. Sanderson then scored a goal then to make it 3-2. Then
I think Che Adams scored.
Che Adams to make it then Birmingham made it 3-3 with a red card, by the way. And then in the
the red card. So yeah, the red card
happened there as well. Yeah. And then the 6th minute of added time, Aribo somehow hooked one into the back of the net. Yeah. There's your run down that game.
For Southampton.
Massive. So again, they're in the contention for automatic promotion as well.
Yeah.
Not as close as obviously Leeds, but 70 points.
They've got a game in hand. Yep. So if they win that, they'll be on 73.
They'll play tonight, I think.
Yeah, they'll be 5 points off Ipswich if they win. So still within reach, but you back Ipswich and Leeds over them. I mean, even Leicester's no guarantee the way they've kind of...
They've sort of halted a little bit. Like,
so, yeah.
It's just going to kick off, isn't it?
It's the championship. It happens every season.
We'll do it
in terms of like instant promotion. We usually know by this time.
No chance now.
No chance. Yeah.
We'll do this every single week. We'll keep updating it. But let's go. Who do you think will be the automatic qualification 2 at the moment? Who are you going to pick?
I still back Leicester.
Yep.
I still back them. See, Ipswich have turned it around nicely.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to drop out.
Same.
Which it looked like it, but they've turned
fixed
it around.
up. 4 losses, by the way, ridiculous.
Yeah. It's just Leeds, I think.
I only got Leicester Leeds just because they've been there and done it a few times to automatically qualify. But again, we'll probably change this every week from now on in.
I'm going to stick with Ipswich.
I
think
it. Good.
The ability to, like, at the time I said I thought they'd drop off.
Yeah.
It looked like it.
Yep.
And then they've been able to bounce back. I think I'd like to see them hold on. I want different teams up in the league.
I want to see
Luton
Premier League new teams.
Everyone loves Luton. If Ipswich go up, everyone will.
Everyone would back that story in.
So, yeah.
Kieran McKenna, what a guy. What a dude.
Yep.
There's a quick little wrap up each week. Hopefully, if next week actually less going on around every other league, we'll have a bit more time to talk about the EFL.
Yeah.
But it always delivers for us. Alrighty. There we go.
Yeah.
What a finish.
Everything.
Champions League will wrap up next week. We'll probably wrap
there
up.
Wasn't too much to wrap up this week.
Bayern won and PSG beat Chelsea today. But then obviously
kind of expected.
Exactly. We're recording this before the games tonight. Obviously, we'll come out after the games, but there's all interesting. But yeah, next week we'll have a lot of games to wrap. We'll wrap up the round 16 properly.
Yep.
Obviously, Europa League as well.
Yeah.
On Friday morning here, Thursday night across there in Europe. So, God, take a deep breath and recompose. Next week we'll be even better, I think. Yeah, what a week. Thanks for coming on, man.
No, good.
Thanks for joining us once again. Listen to us for 3 hours this week. You done well, the guys. Yeah. Stay in there. I know your ears are bleeding.
Sorry for putting up with me. The internet.
There's less waffle this week though. There's more intellectual conversation going on here.
The casuals will be back on Monday.
God help you all.
No, they need to be back on here. To
balance it all out. To balance it out. Thanks for the support Monday. I don't know how it would have gone to seeing it was different crew on Monday, but thanks for the support in that one. If you would mind, comment, subscribing here in this one, 5 stars on Spotify, following an Apple podcast, sharing it around on a good little run here. I appreciate all the support. Seeing the viewership grow to other parts of the world, that's much appreciated. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next Thursday morning for the same stuff. And I think I might be live for the big title decider on Sunday night. So I'll be here. Join me for that there as well. Till next time, guys. See you later.